All right, if you missed what happened on Friday night or didn't see it on social media with Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, we're about to get you caught up to date on one of the more memorable sports stories of the year. And that leads us to our stat of the day.
It's the BYU Sports Nation stat of the day.
BYU baseball alum Taylor Cole, only the second BYU Cougar to be a part of a major league no-hitter, joining Jack Morris, who did it in April of 1984. And Taylor Cole now joins us on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline, returning to the program. Taylor, nice to have you back on BYU Sports Nation.
I'm glad to be back. How's it going?
Fantastic. What an incredible Friday night and weekend for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, for that matter. Taylor, just to set this thing up for those that might not know, you were honoring one of your teammates who recently passed away, Tyler Skaggs, on Friday night, your first home game since news broke that he had passed away. You all wore number 45, and then you combined for a no-hitter the day before his birthday. I mean, it was unbelievable. What was the atmosphere like as you took the mound in that scenario, in that arena?
It was like a spiritual experience almost. You know, you just want to be there and do well for him. I mean, they played a video of Tyler beforehand. We were able to see his wife, you know, in the clubhouse before the game, about an hour and a half. She wanted to be around the team and see us all, made her feel closer to Tyler. His mom threw out the first pitch, Debbie, and the first pitch was right down the middle. And so, you know, it was just a really, really special night altogether. And then that happened. I mean, you couldn't imagine, you know, a no-hitter or something of that caliber to happen in that like instant, in that timing. But it didn't. It just makes you realize that, man, there's so much more to it than just the game, right? Sometimes the game of baseball and sports in general are there to kind of help people heal and kind of an avenue to just have a lot of cool things happen. And so anyway, it's just really grateful and humbled to be a part of it. I mean, I threw for 2 innings, and then I had Felix Pena come in for the last 7. So he did the heavy lifting, but, you know, it's just really, really special moment and something we'll never forget.
Emotionally, how did you go to the mound and compete in the way you did, given everything that happened and was happening to remember Tyler?
It's one of those things you just try to just to focus. I mean, obviously I knew that, you know, it was a special night, and that's exactly what he would have wanted, right, is to just be the ultimate competitor, go out there. That's what he was. I mean, he loved to pitch. And so for me, you know, sometimes people can put pressure on themselves and say, hey, I got to do great in this moment for him. And for me, it was just be yourself, you know, just go out there and trust your preparation and do your thing. But, you know, I definitely felt that there was some added help that night. I know Felix does as well. Just, you know, I came out of the game, you know, had a couple good innings, but like I said, it took 7 more after that of no-hit innings to make this thing happen. Dustin Garneau, our catcher, I mean, was out there for all 9. I can't make this stuff up. You know, it's just something that was the greatest thing that's ever happened to me on a baseball field.
Taylor Cole, former BYU baseball pitcher, now pitching for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, was part of a combined no-hitter on Friday night, is with us on BYU Sports Nation. No joke, my wife was celebrating her grandmother's 80th birthday, and she's a huge Angels fan, and she wanted to spend it in one place. And it was on the front row of Angel Stadium on Friday night. And
wow,
it's crazy that she was there, but what I heard was it just, and I almost hesitate to say this, there was almost this added element, almost like this divine element to what happened on Friday night. And I know that it's hard to kind of put it into words, but after that game wraps up and the no-hitter is complete and you're laying the number 45 on the mound, I mean, what's going through your mind?
Just one of those special moments in life. You know, they come every so often, and, you know, sometimes they're just not planned and they just happen, and you just realize, especially when it happens in such a unique time that it did, you just realize how much that God is involved in the intricacies of our life. You know, I mean, that whole city, I mean, the Angel fans, have been so supportive and, have been grieving with the team, you know what I mean? And there's thousands and millions of fans throughout probably the country that, just, when stuff like that happens, it just makes you realize that, hey, there's a higher power that's in control here, and Carly, Skaggs' wife, Carly Skaggs, I hope that brought her just even a little bit more peace, because I think that hopefully it helped her realize that, there's going to be people that are going to be supporting her for a long time. She doesn't have to do it alone. And, it's just the special moment. It just goes beyond baseball.
The baseball gods certainly manifest themselves at times. D. Gordon hits a home run the game after Jose Fernandez passes away. This happens with Tyler Skaggs. But I want to walk you back to the final out. It was a grounder actually taken into the chest of the second baseman. Were you nervous for a second that was going to be a hit maybe in that moment because there was a bobble there?
Yeah, so I got a little superstitious because I threw my 2 innings. I came inside the clubhouse and I started to do my routine, my shoulder work, and all the things that I do afterwards. And anyways, then it was like, hey, one of the luxuries of pitching the first couple innings and being an opener is you got the rest of the game just to enjoy. You're done. And so I actually went into like this little room. That's actually our nap room where there's a TV set up, and I was just watching the game on the TV for the rest of the game. And fifth inning came around, sixth inning, I said, what if? That was the thought that came through my mind. Like, no, like that, I don't even want to go there because I don't want, and then the seventh and then the eighth. And, there's actually, when I was in that room and watching the TV, it was a little delayed from like, obviously there's like tons of TVs sprinkled throughout the clubhouse, right? And there was one that was pretty loud, kind of like right outside the door. That was a little, wasn't delayed. It was more, in real time. And I was watching the ninth inning, and all of a sudden the stadium just roars. And I hear the Angel, and I just hear everybody go crazy, and it announced on the TV. And so even before the pitch had been thrown, and so I didn't even see it. I really didn't. I just ran to my locker because I was still in the clubhouse. I didn't want to jinx anything. And then grabbed my hat and ran outside with the team.
So you weren't even cool. Out there for the final out. You were that superstitious.
No, well, yeah, I wanted to just stay right where I was. Right, I didn't want to because if I would have thrown on because in all fairness, the media came and said, hey, well, a couple of our staff members came and said, hey Taylor, if this ends up happening, we're going to want an on-field interview. So they said throw on your jersey. And so I threw on my jersey, but I went right back to the spot that I was in the clubhouse. I didn't want to throw on my jersey and be in the dugout in the ninth inning and then something bad happened, us give up a hit or whatever it is. And then everybody be like, man, why'd you come out here? So I just stayed right where I was. And, Angel Stadium set up where you actually have these stairs, that you go up and down, to get to in it. So I ran out there and got out there pretty quickly and was a part of it, part of the celebration, and it was just really cool.
Taylor, I'm clearly all aboard the superstition train today. I'm buying Native American dream catchers with BYU helmets to try and help BYU football beat Utah, so I'm all about it, man.
Hey, absolutely, right? I like it, man.
Absolutely.
Big year this year, right?
You bet, so. Man. Hey, we're thrilled for your success. We appreciate your time amidst your busy schedule. Let's talk again soon.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
You got it. Taylor Cole on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, your values, your timeline, your financial future, all class.
Incredible story. We've been plugged in with Taylor. We appreciate him coming on the Monday after the Friday. Pretty cool.